So the White House approved the strike against ISIS in Nigeria, claiming that Christians are being persecuted and unalived by ISIS. Okay, the Nigerian government reported that Muslims and Christians are being unalived in Africa and Nigeria. And this is over disputes over farming, land, and many different things. But let the president and the White House tell you what this is. This is just Christians being persecuted in Africa, which is the story we've heard earlier. The president brought over Africans because he said they were being persecuted and he wanted to protect them, white Africans. So he also offered a gold ticket citizenship pass for people who are being persecuted in Africa. They can pay $5 million and get a gold ticket to give them citizenship in the United States. Now, do I believe that the U.S. is helping Nigeria and helping persecuted Christians who are being unalived? Maybe. But what do I really think the U.S. is doing? We all know what the U.S. is doing. Sudan has huge gold deposits. Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali have all joined together and they've said they don't want any Western influence. They're only going to work with China, Russia, India. Now, the United States wants the resources from Africa. That's known. The gold, the uranium, the natural resources in Africa is why the United States is there helping Nigeria, quote unquote, helping. However, they can't get into the inland countries of Burkina Faso, Mali, and also Niger because they're part of the AES, and the AES is separate from the African Union. So the United States doesn't have a way into those landlocked countries so that they can exploit their resources as they have before, as have the French. Now that Burkina Faso has expelled the French and all the European influences, they are now moving away from Western influence. They went and asked Putin for help. They went and asked China for help. This actively excludes the United States and Donald Trump because Donald Trump did not want to cooperate with those people, even though he is buddy-buddy with Putin in Russia. So the AES does not want anything to do with what's going on in the West right now. And for Donald Trump, that is a severe short because he wants those resources. Now that they've got rid of the French influence, now they got rid of the Dutch influence and they've gotten people out of their country, and now these African countries are looking to advance technologically with their own resources. They're building infrastructure. They're building roads. They're building back up their culture, their community, their people. They don't want the Western influence. This is going to be an African-led union that the United States is not invited to. However, Russia and China are invited, which makes the United States seem left out, which I'm sure Donald Trump hates because Africa is an emerging nation. It has the youngest emerging nation in the world. They are building their own internet. They're building their own power systems, hydroelectric. They're trying to build their own currency. They're becoming completely non-dependent on Western influence and Western culture. Now the United States decides to help Nigeria for some strange reason because Christians are being persecuted, even though those same Christians are actually saying that everyone is being persecuted. Christians are being unalived, Muslims, different groups there due to farming, due to land, due to money. They don't talk about how the United Arab Emirates are supplying people into Africa to protect their interests and to weed out the people they don't want there. And these are the same people that Trump is backing: United Arab Emirates, Dubai, Saudi Arabia. And these are the people who are preying on the African countries. Now, I don't know what the United States is doing in Africa now. I don't know why the president wants to pretend like he wants to help somebody when actually he's doing business deals with the Arab nations. But it seems like a conflict. And it seems like the only time that the president wants to help any people of color is when he has an interest in their natural resources, their votes, or their money. The same with Venezuela. The same with Panama, Colombia. He never shows up until he has something to gain, like he wants to take the resources from Canada, from Greenland. He's a thief. If it doesn't have any monetary value, if it doesn't fatten his pockets, his family's pockets, he doesn't want anything to do with it. So the United States helping Nigeria just seems like a ploy to get the United States military into Africa and then to make up claims about what's going on as far as genocide and religious persecution. However, we don't see any proof. And people who are going to Burkina Faso are showing the videos, are showing where Captain Ibrahim Traore is rebuilding that country. The United States had nothing to do with it, wanted nothing to do with it, and now they're there. It's super strange to me. But colonization never stops. You just have to keep an eye on what's going on in Africa and how the United States is trying to wedge their way in there to get those natural resources. It should be a shame. It should be a shame. Never helping Africans, never helping people of color until you can colonize and take over, benefit, and push them out. The same story over time never stops.